All right, it's 0700. We'll go ahead and get started. My name's Steve DeBenedett, Deputy Plant Section Chief, Incident Management Team 3. Today's Saturday, August 21st, 2021, and this is your operational briefing for the Dixie incident. A few reminders: if you have cell phones, please put them on a mute setting, and please refrain from any side conversations during our briefing. In review of our objectives, both the management objectives and the control objectives have not changed since last operational period. And now with your situational update, Operations, Sean Jerry.
Good morning, Night Operations, Sean Jerry. Starting in branches 9 and 13, all lines held through the night. The slop over down by Mill Creek on the south side of 36, they ended up going direct on that and getting line all the way around that. Continuing with branch 16, last night they started a firing operation in Division Quebec from Butte Lake towards Division Romeo. They did have a small slop over down by the lake. Their crews are engaging that and starting to go direct on that right now. Hopefully we could pick that up. The Janesville branch, we have line from Highway 395 up to Antelope Lake. Currently that's all holding, and we completed most of the contingency line around Milford. Thank you and have a safe day.
Weather, Joe Gosward.
Good morning, everyone, and yes, it's back. But I can guarantee you that this will be the last time you will see me wearing a red shirt, mainly because I leave tomorrow, but be that as it may. We are going to see some winds. Some of the ridgetop raw stations that we look at actually do have a hint of wind this morning, and that really hasn't been showing up over the past couple of weeks, so that is definitely a trend we're going to be watching. You can see some cloud cover up there. Upper level system is moving across the incident right now, and that's going to be followed by a dry cold front later today. So we have southwest winds now. They're fairly light, but they are going to increase as the day progresses. We're looking at winds maybe gusting as high as 35 miles an hour, mainly on the exposed ridge tops and those mid slopes and where the topography is favorable for southwest winds. But something else I'd like to point out is the humidity. It's not going to be extremely low, but we are going to see those strong winds. And with those critically dry fuels and the activity we've been seeing just based on topography and fuels, we've gone ahead and issued a local red flag warning. It's just for the incident, and it's from 11 o'clock this morning to 6 o'clock this afternoon. So please be aware. We're expecting the winds to increase as the day progresses, and of course, we're still going to have those effects from the channeling and the topography, and where the winds are usually squirrely, they're probably going to remain squirrely as well. The limiting factor, once again, will be smoke. Not having quite as much this morning as we did yesterday, but be aware, smoke is going to be the mitigating factor. If we can thin the smoke out over where the fire is, yeah, I expect those winds to make it to the surface. If we stay socked in all day because of the smoke, maybe not so much. But a red flag warning is in effect, everyone, from 11 to 6 today. Thank you.
Fire behavior, Brian Newman.
All right, good morning. So just to reiterate, that red flag warning, 11 a.m. to 1800 this afternoon. We also are under that fuels and fire behavior advisory that's in your IEP behind the fire behavior forecast. So please review that with your crews when you're doing your briefing today. So with that southwest wind, we're already starting to see it down here in the southwest corner of the fire. We're already picking up 11, 12 mile an hour winds down there. So it's starting to come in, and we're starting to see the effects of that. So it's going to hit down here in the far southwest first, start clearing that out. And remember, this is a fuel-driven fire. Any other factor causes it to get up and start making columns and start to grow. So wind, topography allows it to start to move. And so we're going to start seeing both of those, especially on the far side over there. The wind's going to align with the topography, and we have that fuel factor just because it is so dry under drought conditions that we expect to see some of the columns stand up, start to see some fire activity start to get moving, especially as it starts to channel over here on this far side. There's a pocket in here of some good heat this morning. Expect to see that start to have some activity as it starts to hit over there first. And then as it gets into the further part up there by Papa in that area, expect to see that's some higher elevation stuff, channeling the wind, picking up some activity, thinning the smoke, and starting to have some columns build on you. Coming around for the other part of the fire over here, it's looking really good on the IRs this morning, but again, we've been having spot fires at night with very limited wind. So with today's wind effect across here, expect the possibility of some spots out here out of these flats where there's some heat left in the middle. So just really be a heads up on that. Not a lot of topography out there necessarily, but there is the critically dry fuels with the wind expected. Now coming over into the Clear Branch and the Duffy Group area, that's that funnel again that we've been talking about in the past. Highway 36 corridor. There is some heat left here on the west slope of Mount Hamilton. So expect that you'll see some activity in there picking up. Again, the wind's coming up, smoke thinning, fuels are already dry. So expect you to see some activity in that spot over there. Over down in the Janesville area, the escarpment is it's got its own unique weather pattern over here. So as that wind comes across this and it gets down into the other side of the escarpment, expect some erratic wind and some erratic fire behavior for some of these areas that have some residual heat left in there and the activity that they saw yesterday. Anything that comes off the escarpment, it's not going to be just a direct wind flow across here. There'll be some erratic winds, so just really be heads up on that. Be aware of the spotting. It's in the lighter fuels. You have grass, you have sage mixed with that timber, so your rates of spread are going to be much higher in that area. So just be really a heads up on that as we thin out. Again, to follow up what the IMET said, the overlying factor is if we have smoke over the fire, your activity will be subdued, but any amount of thinning will allow for that fire activity to pick up. So also take that into consideration with your aircraft use today. Because of that smoke, you may not be able to use aircraft, so don't build a plan based on aircraft. So take all that in consideration and have a good shift.
Safety, Damon Godden.
There, good morning. Please use page 7 in your IEP to brief your crews today. And as you're doing your equipment checks, make sure that when you leave base camp that your headlights are on. Our law enforcement partners are asking that we make sure that those are on while we're driving on the incident. And above and beyond that, when we're doing our equipment checks, Chief Lesher was mentioning this morning, you know, we do a really good job going bumper to bumper all the way around and checking our equipment out. But let's take an extra minute today to check out our personnel. Make sure that we check in with them, make sure that they're good here and their families are good. Just do a little pulse check, make sure everybody's out ahead of things before they escalate. We had a couple incidents last night, and we want to make sure that you're paying attention to your folks on the line as well. Catch it before it become an issue. Above and beyond that, aircraft safety. If we start flying today, make sure you watch your footing, make sure you watch for overhead hazards, and be safe. Thank you.
Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. Welcome back for those of you who've been here, and for any of you that are new, welcome to the Dixie incident. West Zone, we have 3 sectors. Each sector has numerous branches, and under that, divisions and groups. We'll do the roll call down to the division and group supervisor level. We have one sector, the Butte sector, that is remote from us. The rest of personnel, the leadership will be in person. Start off with the Butte sector. Branch director will be Carlos, and divisions will be Casone. Moving on to the Lassen sector, Deputy Operations Section Chief Bohall. Here. Branch 9, Emigrant. Here. Division Kilo Alderete. Here. Trainee Cecina. Here. Division Lima Mitchison. Here. Branch 13 will be Orr. Divisions November and Oscar and the Lassen IA will be in the Park. Division Papa English. Here. Branch 16 Scorbecki. One back in the Branch 13 will be Division Quebec will be Thomas. Here. Trainee be Fetterman. Here. Moving back to Branch 16, Romeo will be LaRusso. Here. Division Tango in uniform will be Milovich. The Westwood Sector, Deputy Operations Section Chief Norman. Here. Division Juliet will be Frawley. Here. Clear Branch, Dyer. Here. Be a fill-in for the 147 and Meadow Group. Duffy Group, Boyce. Here. Westwood and Peninsula, Schindler. Here. Susanville Branch, Barnes. Here. Janesville Contingency will be Andreas. Here. Deputy Ehrlich. The Wildcat and the Milford group will be Pooley. Hicks group, Edson. Wingfield will be O'Neill. Suppression repairs down in the Butte sector, Derby. Staging is Montiel. Okay, priorities. Lassen sector. Number one priority would be the Branch 9 operations occurring there. Getting that buttoned up. A lot of good work that's been done. We want to continue that so we don't have any further spread to the west. Next priority, Division Quebec firing operation. Started that last night. It's going to be a multi-day firing operation, so that'll be another priority. And then the third priority for that sector will be to stop the westward spread of the fire in that sector. Westwood sector. Number one priority, call it the battle for Janesville. We're going to continue to battle there and stop the progression of the fire into that community. Second will be the Duffy Group and holding 36 in that sector. We're going to have a challenging day. You heard IMET, you heard FBAN. We're going to be challenged with some wins. After that, we're going to see a little bit of a calm. So today is going to be a day of battle. We're going to have a lot of challenges. You also have challenging assignments. We're getting you some tough ground to work in. We've got fewer resources. We're assisting the East with resources, so we have fewer resources to work with than we've had. So that just means longer, harder work for the rest of you. That's another challenge. Give you a quote by Coach Lou Holtz. He's a famous coach for the University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And he said, "Ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it." So we want you to meet these challenges today like a champion.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. We've really had really good communications thanks to you. Air assets and ground assets have been communicating very well. Please continue to use East Zone Air to Ground, the double letter identifier for your East Zone air assets. West Zone Air to Ground. Today, look up, look down, look around. As safety said, there's a lot of loose snags, slippery rocks. Watch your footing. When the aircraft are dropping, please stay out of the drop zone and then come back in and help us out just like you have been with boots on the ground. It's really been effective. We may have clear air right here, which we could probably fly in, but remember, out on the fire, sometimes it's just not clear enough to get those air tankers and helicopters up, so please be patient with us. We have the VLAT, ASM, air attack, and tankers on standby. We have 27 helicopters available between 4 helibases, and we've been flying helicopters every day. 90,000 gallons of water out of the Eagle helibase alone yesterday. The East Zone flew all day yesterday with fixed wing and helicopters. If you have a medical emergency, please follow the medical plan. Have a good day.
Communications, Corey Costa.
Good morning. So for today, August 21st, we have a new clone today. So if you want to turn to page 60 of your 205, West Zone 205, page 60, I'll show you the change. And all we did is we added the Lassen Heavy Equipment Group into that first page of the 205. On page 61 will be the second page of the West Zone 205. You can see that we've added Command 99. Now it shows unassigned, but what we're trying to do is trying to help support the firing operation. So for the Division Quebec in that area, we put that up to see if that's going to help fill in that hole in the gaps up there. It is not going to be confirmed yet until we get feedback today. If it's good to go, then we'll actually show it on the 205 for the rest of everybody. You do have C-89 also in that area in the Quebec Romeo in that general area. For cloning purposes, guys, to help make this move faster, we have a lot of people to clone. So what we ask for you to do is make sure that you have your lapel mics off, you have the dust covers off your mic. We ask that you have your radio wiped down prior to giving it to the tech. The better we do, we can get you going, get you guys out on the line. As always, any feedback, questions, concerns, we are down in communications at the end of Main Street, right by Supply. Have a safe shift.
Medical, Fred D'Acquisto.
Good morning. If you turn to page 65 in your IEP, you'll find the medical plan. Please review this information with your personnel. Pay particular attention to box 8. You'll find on the left side of box 8 the line of emergency procedures. On the right side of box 8, you'll find the information we need to help you mitigate your situation to get you the appropriate resources. If you have anything in camp, CalMat is in between feeding and the comm unit. You can see them. If you have any injuries, come see us in Trailer Row. And as always, if you have any questions, see us in Trailer Row or contact us at the number at the bottom of the 206. Thank you.
Logistics, Milford Ferguson.
Morning, got a few items for you today. Page 78, we've updated our ground support map for all your needs here in town. We have it spread out in town, different locations. They're on the map. Fuel out in the line is also on the back corner there for any needs at the Highland Ranch. We have fuel there, and another spot, I believe 288 drop point for fuel. As that moves, we'll update it as the fire moves. Again, we have a lot of hose out on old drop points. I am sending a lot of runners and my firefighters out to find those and bring that stuff back. If there's anything out there you need and you see, please pick it up and use it, bring it to the front of the fire. Much appreciated. And or come back and give us some locations of stuff that we're not finding, and we'll get out there and get it picked up. We do have a lot of trash out there. We cannot use trash cans, dumpsters in any of the towns. We don't control any of those trash cans. Please backhaul all your trash, and or like we normally do, put it at a drop spot, radio it in, we'll come out and get your trash picked up. With that, you also have on page 75, your CDF 101 will be in there for any equipment, hose left on the line. Please mark where you left it so we can get that picked up and that marked for the end of the fire. 213s, branch or better for firing, have those signed and sent in. We'll get your equipment either picked up here in camp so it's accountable or we'll have it delivered to the Highland Ranch spy camp and be accounted for your pickup. Have a good shift.
Information, Blanca Mercado.
Good morning. If you could please turn to page 68 in your IAP. We have the statistics for the morning. Acreage is at 714,219, 714,219. Containment's at 36%, 36. Total personnel is at 5,670. That's 5670. All divisions, branches, and strike team leaders. If you have media on the line, please utilize the media line at the top of the page. We'll get a PIO out to you. The Calfire social media policy. For any photographs and videos, services are still available at our trailer.
Okay, a few reminders immediately after briefing. Please report to your breakout locations. The Westwood sector is located behind me outside the fence. The Lassen sector is located behind outside the fence, and a resource unit leader will meet with you and get you an assignment. And your next operational briefings tomorrow.
Thank you for your continued hard work on this incident. The skills we bring to the incident are the things that we get to train on, the things we get better at. But our character are those things that we can't train on. They're the things that are deep in our heart. There's a few characteristics that help us get through these long incidents. Drive. That's what keeps us coming out for 40 days straight to accomplish the mission. Integrity. That's doing what we said we'd do. Follow through, close loops, help the person standing next to you. And then using our intelligence, effective intelligence, taking in the situation, identifying what's changed, find a new solution, and implement that solution. Continue to use those pieces of your character, that thing that can't be taught, that thing that's in your heart, to continue to get us through this tough incident. Have a good shift.
Good morning. Obviously, a lot of great work has been accomplished and a lot of successes over the last 39 days. You've been briefed to the challenges that potentially we face today on the incident. Stay aggressive. When spot fires start to occur, pick them up early. Don't allow them to build energy. When they build energy, that's when they start running away from you. If we do get a call, them stand up and start challenging our lines, Make good, strong, tactical decisions out there on the ground with safety first. The wind will die down, and we'll be able to go back in and pick it up. Stay aggressive today, be safe. Number one key to success is everyone gets to go home at the end of this shift. Thank you.
That concludes your operational briefing. Please remember to turn your phones back on and have a safe shift.